Today, let us discuss the process of human resource planning. Human resource planning, as we know, is the process for ensuring that the human resource requirements of an organization are identified and plans are made for satisfying those requirements. In simpler terms, we can say that the human resource planning is the process for ensuring that we have right quantity and quality of human resource available at the right places at the right time so that an organization can meet its objective, right? So now let us see the process of human resource planning. The first step, as we can see, is the organizational objectives and policies, where HR plans need to be based on organizational objectives, and the role of HRP is to help in achieving the overall objectives by ensuring availability and utilization of human resources. In order to develop these objectives, specific policies need to be formulated to provide answer to questions like, are vacancies to be filled from promotions or from within or hiring from outside, what union constraints will be encountered, how to downsize the organization, and so forth, so on and so forth. On the left hand side, we can see the HR needs forecast, which is at times referred to as HR demand forecast. It is the process of estimating the future quantity and quality of the people required by the organization, and it is based on the annual budget and on long-term business plan, which is further translated into activity levels for each function and department. It takes into consideration both internal and external factors. There are a number of techniques to forecast HR requirement, like trend analysis, ratio analysis, Delphi technique, nominal group, simulation method, and so on. On the right hand side, we can see the HR supply forecast. HR supply forecast. Supply forecasting measures the total number of employees likely to be available, including both existing employees as well as from outside. After making sufficient allowance for absenteeism, transfers and promotions, wastage and changes in hours and other working conditions, and accordingly we try to assess our inventories, existing human inventories, both the skill inventory as well as the management inventories. We make skill inventories for non-managers, where the information like personal data, skills, special qualification, salary, job history, capacity of individuals, special preference, etc. are determined. And in management inventories, we have work history, strengths, weakness, promotion potential, career goals, total budget managed, etc. So remember that we have skill inventories for non-managers and we have management inventories for the managerial candidates. So while taking into consideration HR supply forecast, we will see both the internal supply that we possess and also what we intend to hire in the future, in the near future. So after HR needs and HR supply forecast, the next step is HR programming. After workforce demand and supplier forecast, the vacancies are required to be filled at right time with the right kind of employees. So the next step is HR plan implementation. Now the programs were made, now is the time to implement these programs or to translate HR plan into action. These action may be redundancy plan, retention plan, succession plan, training and development. And so the final one is control and evaluation of program, which includes establishing the reporting procedures, identifying who are in post, those who are in pipeline. It should report employment costs incurred against budget allocated and observe trends in, if we have surplus employees, what are we expected to do and what should we do in case of shortage of employees. So if there is shortage of employees, then we should hire new full-time employees, offer incentives for postponing retirement, rehire retired employees, attempt to reduce turnover, bring in overtime for present employees, subcontract work to another company, hire temporary employees, re-engineer to reduce needs. At the same time, if surplus is there, then we can go for steps like not replacing employees who leave, offer incentives for early retirement, offering them voluntary retirement scheme, transfer or deploy excess employees to some other departments, use available slack time for training them, reducing their work hours, laying off employees, providing them training and development. And we can say that the whole process is influenced by the environment, both the macro as well as the micro environment.